What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Genesee Brewing Company, and they're out of Rochester, New York, and this is their 12 horse ale. So this is an English style blonde ale that comes in at 5.1% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just under 1 month old. So the 12 horse ale, the classic 12 horse ale from Genesee. This was a beer that was introduced shortly after Prohibition ended in 1933. And the last time they packaged this beer in either bottles or cans was back in 2012 as part of their Heritage Pack. I didn't get a chance to try it then, but they typically have this on tap at the Genesee Brew House. Every time I go there, I get it as part of my flight. But I wanted to give it a proper review on a fresh palate, not with any other beers interfering. And I've never picked this one up for, I guess, off-site consumption from the Genesee Brew House because, I got into craft beer about 10 years ago, and I don't remember the Heritage Pack being out. I probably just missed it, but this is the first time I've seen it in cans or bottles, and I wanted to grab it. So I did grab a 12-pack of it, and I'll be drinking on it over the next month or so. But I wanted to review it first. So the brewmaster of the regular Genesee brewery, Stephen Kaplan, he mentioned that this beer, or I guess Genesee Cream Ale, Jenny Cream Ale, one of my favorite go-to like macro beers, is actually like a light version of this. They say that or he says that the yeast really shines in 12 horse ale. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, let's crack it open, get into the other half of Rochester glass, because why not? It's pretty much a glass made for beers like this, so let's give it a pour. Now, every time I've had this one, I've enjoyed it. And again, as part of a flight, you really can't sit there and, you can sit there and kind of break it down if you really wanted to, but when I'm drinking a flight at a brewery, I'm just like, oh, I like that one or whatever, and I enjoy this one. So, as you can see, crystal clear, basically a yellow, like golden straw color, about a finger and a half of this bright white, fluffy, almost creamy looking head. And yeah, it looks beautiful. It looks what I would expect from this beer, and yeah, anyone's gonna know. It smells very reminiscent of Jenny Cream Ale, but I feel like this one has a little bit more intensity overall. Like the malt bill on this one, grainy, but it has like a little bit of a sweeter malt character. There's a little bit of like a lemon pith type of thing in here too. Slightly earthy and floral. But yeah, it really does remind me of Jenny Cream Ale. It just seems like it's a little bit more bold on the nose, more impactful. I don't remember Jenny Cream Ale having a huge nose, and this one's pretty big. It just smells like an amplified version of Jenny Cream Ale. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely Jenny Cream Ale vibes. But like I said, it's a little bit more like in your face than Jenny Cream Ale, like a little bit more of like an unfiltered Jenny Cream Ale. Clearly this is filtered. I'm just talking like as far as like the flavor characteristics of this one goes. Right up front, sweet, grainy, bready, slightly biscuity malt profile. Pass through the palate, a little bit of that lemon pith kicks in. And I'm getting a little bit of a touch of spiciness too. Just a very slight, minute spiciness. A little bit of earthiness and touch of floral aspect as well. Finishes semi-dry, a little bit of a residual sweetness, but very, very clean. This is an extremely clean drinking ale. Body of this one, 5.1%. This is like lower side of medium body. This actually has a nice heft behind it for a 5.1% beer. I mean, it's not thin. It's I think appropriate for what they're going for, but it doesn't seem like thin and watery to me. The mouthfeel, crisp, effervescent. Like I said, very clean, spritzy on the palate. Good carbonation kick to this one. As you can see, I'm just tearing this up. This is really nice. This, like I said, this drinks like almost an unfiltered Jenny Cream Ale to me from a flavor aspect, as I mentioned. It just seems a little bit bolder and more in your face as far as all the characters are concerned, both in the aroma and on the aroma and in the palate. Yeah, I'm glad I bought a 12-pack of this. As you guys know, I review pretty much a beer per day sometimes too. And it's hard for me to buy a 4-pack or a 6-pack, or in this case, a 12-pack of a beer. But a beer like this, I throw it in the fridge, and I can grab one here and there when I don't want to sit there and contemplate a beer, and I just want an easy drinking, 5% beer, and this is one I would reach for. And dare I say, I'm not going to say this is for me better than Genny Cream Ale, but I think the flavors are more intense. So based on what I would want out of the beer, I think that I would choose this over Genny Cream Ale sometimes, and sometimes I would just go with the Cream Ale. Yeah, this is a good beer. So rating on the 12 horse ale from Genesee. I see, here's where ratings, and I tell people not to worry about my ratings. I'm sitting here telling you this is a good beer. For what it is, it's a damn tasty beer. But when I rate stuff, not to style typically, but when I drink a beer like this and I review beer like this, I like to do style and the personal preference. Style on this one, I would give this a 4.25 to a 4.5 out of 5. I really, for what they're going for and what this beer is supposed to be, I think they did a great job with it. Now, personal preference, it's very hard for me to drink a beer like this or like a macro beer and give it anything above really a 3.5. Genny Cream Ale for me, when I reviewed it on the channel, 3.25 out of 5. Some people will be, that's low, you're giving this a 4.25, and it is, but I'm talking in comparison to the scope of all the beers I drink. But I will say this, I will give 12 horse ale from Genesee a 3.5 out of 5. I do think I like it. I won't say more than Genny Cream Ale, but I think the flavors are better. But if I was to pick one or the two, I don't think I could. It would be based on how I'm feeling that day or what kind of drinking experience I want. I think Genny Cream Ale is like a lighter drinking beer than this, and this is more of like a bolder, intenser beer with similar flavors. So 3.5 out of 5 for 12 horse ale from Genesee. I would say like 4.25, 4.5 out of 5 for what they're going for stylistically. I think it's a great beer. And if you've had this beer before, let me know what you think about it, because at the end of the day, I would imagine a lot of old school Genesee drinkers would want to grab this one, which brings me to price and availability. Price point on this one, $9.99 for a 12-pack. You're talking less than $1 a can. That's a great value. Genesee always usually has good value depending on, well, really all their releases, even their specialty releases, very good value. And availability, wherever you see Genesee, you should see this one. I think they brewed a lot of this one, so you should see it wherever you see Genny Cream Ale and Genesee Lager and the whole nine. So yeah, anyway, really good beer, 5.1%. It kind of drinks like a 5% ale. It has lager characteristics. When you're talking about the cream ale from Genny, it has very American adjunct lager vibes to it. And this does as well, but this is an ale. And yeah, I just think it's a really well-made beer and I'm enjoying it. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 for personal rating, 4.25 out of 5. Well, 4.5 out of 5, somewhere in that range. We'll just go like 4.35 out of 5. Yeah, we'll just do that for 12 horse ale. Like I said, if you've had this one before, definitely let me know what you think about it. I know my good friend and viewer of the channel, Jeff aka No Jinx, he kind of grew up drinking Genesee, and this was one of the beers he likes. I'm going to send him a couple cans for sure so he can relive his youth, right? His childhood. I don't know, not childhood. He's probably not drinking this as a child. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm rambling now, so appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. To the next one. Cheers.